What's going on, yo? What's going on? What's going on? My background is going to be a bit noisy, and hopefully this thing doesn't turn off on me. But yeah, I just want to give y'all. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm not gonna be looking at my phone screen, so we're just gonna have to make it do. All right. I want to give my initial thoughts on the Myron, Mark Lamont Hill thing. Um, and let's just call a thing a thing. Um, okay, you know, black supremacy. Myron mentions black supremacy. Last time I checked, supreme means pinnacle, right? Number one, top dog, right? The best, the alpha, the omega. Supreme, it indicates that, right? What is a black supremacy in context of America, in American history, right? You don't even have to go back to slavery if you don't want. You could start the clock. I mean, yesterday. You could start the clock today. What is black supremacy? Number one. Number two, we're talking about a child, uh, an autistic child that was called the N word. And Myron wants to speak about context and how we got here. Like kind of how Mark Lamont Hill was attempting to do. Um, the issue with the Myrons of the world is that they come to America, or they're born in America, and I'm gonna get on us as immigrants and children of immigrants. And you want to keep your children away from black people, and you move your kids to these white folks, or move your children around these white folks, or just non-black people in general, and then you raise a Myron. And a Myron who worships at the altar of anything not black, right? Anything not black. Who worships at the altar of anything not black. Once again, excuse my background, y'all. Excuse my background. Um, and Myron, who's essentially a 12, 13-year-old young white man, young boy, white boy. Oh boy, don't be loud. I'm sorry, yo. Yeah, a 12, 13-year-old white boy, edge lord white boy. That's what Myron is as a 30-something-year-old, right? Okay, cool. That is whoever Myron's parents are, Myron's mother. That's who your son is. Before we even speak about the YouTube fame and the money, your son is a 30 some odd year old, 12, 13-year-old edge lord white boy, right? We got to stress that. We got to emphasize that that is what Myron is, right? For those of us who saw the clip, if you haven't seen it, then that's okay. I understand. I'll find a way to link some of it because Myron does have it on his channel, but I'm just not gonna link from his channel. I just refuse. Um, Also, for the tap dancers in the comments who are supposedly black and are defending what Myron did on Pierce Morgan, you do realize you're defending a black guy, or at least an African. Shout out to Gilgami and Snake Man, who have often said to us that Myron doesn't see himself as black. Okay, and I take that into account as I say this. With that, if Myron is allowed to cosplay the blackness that he doesn't see himself as, then we'll go with you. For those of you who are in Myron's comments saying, I'm talking about black folks here, who are saying, well, Myron didn't say anything wrong, and Myron is just stating the facts, and Myron is the voice of reason. I saw some white guy say that. Thank you as a white guy for being the voice of reason. Y'all do realize y'all are speaking about a black guy that was doing the Hell Hitler salute, right? So you better not be one of these white folks who say, my granddad died in Germany fighting the Nazis. My granddad defended America in World War II. My great granddad defended America. Your great granddad is being mocked by Myron right now. Just want you to appreciate that, right? Your great granddad is being mocked by Myron as Myron does the Hell Hitler salute and has KKK hoodie on. See, the KKK hoodie, the full KKK hoodie, you're okay with. You're okay with that, right? Are you okay with the Hell Hitler salute, knowing your granddad, even if he didn't even if he didn't die, even if he wasn't killed, knowing that your grandfather risked his life for this recent immigrant, right, child of immigrants, to be born and raised in America as a black person, to do the Hell Hitler salute? I do want you to realize that that's what you're supporting, right? I do want you to realize that that is what you're supporting, huh? And hopefully I know my background got a whole lot quieter, and my apologies, y'all. There's so much. I really, I'm sorry to start my stream that way. Y'all already know regular streams. As a matter of fact, y'all give Z 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. Yeah, so Myron Myron starts going through the, well, black people commit this amount of crime and that amount of crime, and you know, George Floyd criminal, Freddie Gay criminal. So he's just doing his best rendition of what the racist white folks, that these particular white folks I'm speaking about, tend to be more conservative. Um, so Myron is just doing his best rendition of that. So we already seen the clips. For those of you who never seen the clip, I suggest you do it. Where Malcolm X is being interviewed, kind of man on the street style. Malcolm X is being interviewed, and he's asked a question by the interviewer, and then the interviewer then turns around and acts like this sellout ass Negro the question, and the sellout ass Negro says sellout ass Negro stuff, and like and I'm saying this to say, like, we already know what Myron is on Piers Morgan for, to undermine. Piers Morgan is getting his views up, and he has Myron on there. Yeah. So y'all get it, right? Y'all get it. Continuing. We are speaking about a white woman calling a 5-year-old black boy with autism the N-word. And Myron is able to go on his diatribe essentially about how it's black people's fault. Not only that, Myron's supposed to be manosphere, right? Myron then starts spouting out supposed crime facts, supposed, air quotes, supposed crime facts, and says, yeah, and it's committed mainly by black men. Oh, yeah, I thought, hey, what happened to that unity, y'all? What happened to the unity? Oh, what happened? So you got a bunch of sellout ass Negroes in Myron's comment section that don't really appreciate that Myron just threw you under the bus, you dumbass. Huh? What happened? I thought it was supposed to be a unity. I thought we were all supposed to be fighting feminism and fighting female and the women, and then using the courts and the system, and then the paternity, and the court system, and the child support, and the family court, and then what happened? Myron just said, yeah, and it's black men. Ooh. Huh? I'm black. I don't want to live around black people. I live around white people because it's safer. Black men. Black men. Huh? All you, I'm not like my cousins over there in the hood, ass black people. Huh? What happened? Myron just threw y'all smooth under the bus. Huh? All you black men, all you edgelord black men in your 20s and 30s, still mad that hood ass Keisha wasn't checking for you in high school. By the way, it's not just the black women. Y'all be lame too. Yeah, you think you better than her, but you still wanted to pipe when you were 16. Oops. Z, don't be saying that part out loud, Z. You know you're not supposed to be admitting that. Yeah, you're a square, and yes, you were a square when you were 15, 16, 17, and 18, but you still wanted to pipe hood ass Keisha with the big butt. Huh? And she played your ass to the left, and now you over there with Myron. Huh? Yikes. Myron just threw y'all under. Black men, you do realize that that's what Myron just did, right? Huh? You do realize Myron got real close to sounding like those same feminist black women that y'all don't like talking about, or that y'all like talking about. Huh? Oh, what happened? I get it. Y'all not gonna rock with Mark Lamont Hill. Y'all gonna side with. You're gonna side with Myron. Okay, fine. Side with Myron over there, where you have to minimize race and you got to be the boy to white men's manhood. Huh? Every time one of these folks start talking around white folks, they start tap dancing. Myron literally just threw y'all under the bus, and I see y'all in the comments saying, well, you know, it's not racist when he says, because he's talking about our community and we got stuff to fix. The two blonde bimbos up there, wait a minute, you know, they have bad behavior. Y'all, they have, who's they? You're talking about over 40 million people in America. Black people constitute over 40 million people. Who's they? That's not racist? Huh? And to say that Myron is the voice of reason, whoever that random white person in the comments or random person claiming to be white is in the comments, to say Myron, you mean the guy that just last year was wearing KKK hoodie, or was it the year before, and did the Hell Hitler salute? It's listening to supposed white people, because we don't know if he's really white in the comments, listening to white people talk is fascinating, because they will extol all the greatness and the virtues of great white folks going back millennia, and then contradict it in what they want to advocate for right now. So you can imagine a random white guy talking about how great the greatest generation is and storming the beaches of Normandy, huh? And his great granddad and whatever medals he won. Yeah, my great granddad did this and this and that and that. And yet Myron is a you celebrating Myron, and Myron, there's like videos, there's like Myron with the KKK hoodie doing the Hell Hitler salute, like like you do realize that, right? You're okay with agreeing with that character, all despite black people, huh? But it's okay because he's black, even though he's a first generation immigrant who borderline kind of doesn't even identify as black. And going to that, Myron, you mentioned how liberalism is a problem from one child of immigrants to another child of immigrants. Liberalism's why we're in America. You do realize that, right? You realize like it was liberal laws that allowed for immigrants to start being able to be allowed in this country starting in the mid 60s. You do realize that that's the case, right? Those weren't conservative laws. So the whole reason that you're here in America to turn around and defecate on black people and be, white racist people's blowhorn, emphasis on the blow word, oops, it's because of liberal laws. You do realize that, right? Huh. And BGS says, why are we allowing a Fed inside the manosphere? You got to ask the white guys that, BGS. The coward ass white men that the second the laws start coming to pass, that even marginally, just teeny tiny bit help or benefit white men, that they're going to turn their back on this whole project. They're going to do just like they, Z, don't say, they're going to do just like they yitches. Huh? Coward ass white men are the ones who's allowing, because once again, the whole reason that there's a black minister, because those racist ass white dudes, they wanted Myron to talk, and Myron know it. So they both jacking each other off under the table. Huh? They both doing the reach around to each other. Some long ass arms. The Fed is allowed to talk because the white guys in the white manosphere want the Fed to talk, to kind of jab at black people. Look, it's not me. It's a black man saying it. Look, it's not me. Huh? And we already know how hot in the pants Myron is for white approval. I would like to direct y'all to the picture with him and his supposed schoolmates and teammates under the covers. Oops. Huh? So the Fed is allowed to talk because the coward ass white men, I don't care how big you are, how strong you are, or how you know how to fight, coward ass white men who never miss an opportunity to forward black degradation, particularly amongst black men, who always back any play to screw over black people, even if it's going to screw over them in the long run. Coward ass, weak ass white men are the ones who are pushing Myron and their black apparatchiks. And we're here now. Huh? And we're here now. So, shout out to you, Myron, for being the tap dancing sellout that we thought you were. I'm not even going to call you a coon because why? Yeah, and watching Myron get up there, the same guy walking around with the KKK hoodie, doing the Hell Hitler salute. Dear white men, you're full of crap. This is the person you're supporting. You're urinating on your grandfather's and great grandfather's grave, but you're okay with that to defecate on black people. Ain't no history when it comes to black people. Y'all will do anything and say anything. Y'all will advocate any kind of way that screws over black men. Imagine saying, "Oh, there's no race. In the manosphere, we don't see race. We don't see color. We're against feminism and the problems with feminism. We're against the women using the state and the laws against us." Imagine speaking like that and then backing Myron. Y'all are full of crap. Imagine speaking like that and then saying, "I don't see what's wrong with what Myron said. Myron's just telling the truth. Thank you, Myron, for having the courage." Huh? Cowards. That's why I call y'all cowards. Because you're too cowardly to say what you really think and feel. You hiding behind Myron. If you were really these alphas you claim, you would say it. Hey, black people, bow down. Black men, bow down. And whatever comes from this system that's supposed to benefit men is going to benefit white men. Bow down, move aside. You're too cowardly to say what it really is. So you hide behind Myron like the little yitch you are inside. This is why there's a black manosphere, everyone. This is why you see the Roger Report, and shout out to the Roger Report, so adamant about making sure y'all distinguish between quote unquote the manosphere and the black manosphere. Because what the white manosphere want to do is just reconstitute the 1950s all over again, or whatever they imagine the 1950s to be. Huh? Where everybody knew their place under white men. Pun intended on that one. White men are just too cowardly to say it out loud. This is why I told y'all, I know for most black men, y'all are using submit, y'all really mean cooperate. No, but white men really mean submit though. Huh? As a matter of fact, they're saying submit, but they really mean bow down. What they're really telling the rest of society is assume the position. Pun intended on that one too. Huh? So they're hiding behind male advocacy when really Y'all just want to reconstitute with good old days where white men ran everything and nobody questioned our power and authority. Huh? Myron little yitch ass sat there and let the white guy mock him, make fun of him, and tell him, you do realize when we run it again, people like you won't be here. And Myron sounded hurt, not because the white guy said that to him, but because the white guy said that to him on camera. The white guy in bed, hey, Myron, everything, you don't stand for, oh, Myron, everything you say means nothing because we just watched the white guy yit you out. We just watched the white guy punk you and you ate it. You used to eating what white guys dish out. Ooh, goddamn Z. Ooh, 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 ooh. Huh? So now that you're done wiping off your chin, Myron, you're used to that, aren't you? Huh? You're used to that. And this is the Myron that you thought to bring on to your show, Mr. Morgan? This is the Myron. A Myron that got punked by the white guy. A Myron that was doing the Hell Hitler salute with the faux KKK hoodie on. That Myron. Huh? That's the Myron. Myron is one coward ass, broken ass, pun intended on that, sort of kind of black man. It's not about him being quote unquote conservative. To be honest, I don't even think Myron is. Myron is just a good old tap dancing ass Negro for the white dudes. Huh? That's all. Huh? So I definitely had to, get that out. My apologies, everyone, waking y'all up to this morning's I really don't want to use the word. But there's no better way to use, there's no other word to use. Sorry to wake y'all up to Mr. Z's Coon Report. Huh? Because the word coon doesn't actually do Myron justice. Myron sat there and essentially excused a black little boy. Appreciate that Myron, for the most part, is seen as a black man in America, regardless of what he think of himself. We already know East Africans and some of the complexes they have and whatever. Cool. Myron is essentially seen as a black man in America. Myron sat there and excused a white woman calling a black boy, a 5-year-old with autism, the N-word. How you can't really get much more treacherous than that. I just want you to appreciate, like, this is like Divestor stunts. Like Myron and those Divestors are essentially the same people. Y'all do realize that, right? Myron sat there and excused a white woman calling a 5-year-old, not 10, not 15, not 25 years old, a 5-year-old, the N-word. And y'all are in the comments, for you black people in the comments, for you black men, supposed black men, you black men in the comments, that's what you're excusing. That is what you're excusing. How self-hating are you? How white worshiping are you? How mad at your cousins in the hood are you? Goddamn, Z, stop bringing that up. Y'all know it's true. How much are you trying to run from your cousins in the hood that you supposedly, air quotes, elevated yourself out of?
For those of you that were born and raised in the hood and then you found a way out. How y'all going that far to be in Myron's comment section? For all you immigrants and child of immigrants, y'all got called African booty scratcher one too many times that much? So now y'all okay with Myron. As a matter of fact, you're not even just okay. Y'all are advocating for Myron when Myron over here excusing racist white women calling 5-year-old black boys the N-word. How broken are you? Huh? That's a real question. How broken are you if now you're in Myron's comments saying, well, I understand as a black man, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Things we got to do in our community. But this story is about a white racist woman calling a black boy the N-word, and then the white blonde bimbo lady saying, yeah, she uses the N-word. Yeah. That's Myron's on that show. Myron's excusing that. And you're in his comments saying that you agree with what he's saying. Huh. Okay. Huh? Y'all realize y'all sounding like the Yitches right now, right? Y'all sounding and looking like them. You know how when you're speaking about one thing and she don't want to lose the argument. That's for those of you who've ever been in a relationship. Yikes. And she don't want to lose the argument, so she bring up something that don't have nothing to do with anything to throw you off. You do realize that that's what Myron did, and that's what y'all advocated for. Myron's over here talking about black supremacy and black criminals, when if there was a black supremacy, then why did we watch George Floyd get a knee on his neck for damn near 10 minutes? Would that indicate, wait a minute, that was a white police officer of the law, and he kneeled on the black man's neck and killed the black man. 10 minutes. If there was a black supremacy, would that have happened? What the hell is Myron talking about? You do realize that that's what y'all are backing and agreeing with, right? For the white folks in the comments, y'all do realize you're backing barbarism. Oh, I forgot, when it comes to black people, y'all are perfectly okay with barbarism. I thought y'all was supposed to be the facts over feelings crowd. Myron over here talking about black supremacy when he's really talking about is black people advocating for keeping it black in an oppressive system. Myron, aren't you Muslim descent? So that little slice of Europe they have in the Middle East. So it's perfectly okay what the folks are doing to the indigenous folks of that area. So the Europeans that happen to be in the Middle East right now, what they've been doing in that area really since the 1800s, but since the 1940s, that's perfectly okay. You see how easy it is to make hypocrites out of you folks? Huh? And then Myron does the whole fake Ben Shapiro eyebrow, concern look on his face when he's talking, and he's trying to be smug with it too. Y'all know how Ben Shapiro do. Myron do his best rendition of Ben Shapiro with the concerned look and the serious look, with the smug on his face and the eyebrows and the pathetic. Hey, okay, all right, America, keep playing around. This is why China's eating your lunch now. Huh? Piers Morgan. This is why what's his name punched you in the goddamn face. For those of you that don't know, Jeremy Clarkson off of Top Gear supposedly punched Pierce Morgan in the face back in the day in the UK before Pierce Morgan came over to the US and then moved back to the UK apparently. But yeah, huh? This is why you go going around getting punched in the face. You allowed Myron, the guy that did the Hell Hitler salute with the KKK hoodie on, you allowed that guy onto your platform and then essentially excuse a grown adult calling a 5-year-old a racial slur. Huh? And Zulu says, but this is where the word tether comes in. He literally fits that definition. Myron literally. I appreciate it. I get what you're saying, Zulu. Exactly. Huh? Exactly. And Revelot says he called him a sad Negro too. Yeah, the white guy called Myron all different type of slurs. And every time I bring this up, I want you to appreciate. If you never heard it before, appreciate what Z is saying. Myron wasn't offended by what this white racist guy was saying to him. Myron was offended that it was being recorded. Myron was more offended, like for those of you that recall with the whole Donald Sterling and Clippers thing, and many of the Clippers, you could tell their real issue is like, goddamn, now everybody know that we turn a blind eye to him looking at us weird in the locker rooms and like, you know, us knowing that he has these kind of racist proclivities and ideas, and we play for him anyway, and we're not trying to be traded anyway. Like they were more offended that we all knew about Donald Sterling now. That is Myron, is what I'm saying. It's less that he wasn't even offended that the guy was calling him on top of San Negro. He was more offended that now everybody knows that we have a confirmation that this is how white guys speak amongst and to him. And Myron has said that before, actually. And the guy is so broken. Myron thought it was a flex to say to black people that we're soft for not allowing the white racists to talk to us crazy to our face. Myron thought it was a flex. Do you understand how broken you have to be to think it's a flex to say, yeah, and that's why the white people don't tell y'all the truth. They don't tell y'all what they really think. See, when y'all leave the room, they tell me, they make all type of N-word jokes around me. Myron thinks that's a flex. He think that's something to brag about. Myron literally recorded himself saying that, and he thinks that's something to. Oh, I don't know if there's any word. Kuhn, that's why I said Kuhn doesn't do him justice. You think it's brag worthy to say, yeah, the white folks laugh and make fun of you behind your back around me. Man, they trying to get me, y'all. They tried to get me. They got me. Well, they even tried to get me. They did actually get me. Whoever that is, whatever that was. Mr. Z's back. We're back. We're back. We're back. All right. As I was saying before, because Mr. Z did not lose his train of thought. To all the immigrants, recent immigrants, children of immigrants, y'all got to be careful y'all resentment towards Black Americans, ADOS, FBA, because you were supposedly bullied in middle school, right? Because if what that leads you to is Myron-esque behavior, feelings, and thought, then you have a way bigger problem on your hands than they made fun of me when I was younger because of the way I dress and the way I speak and because my parents cook like this and an African booty scratcher. Huh? Oh man. Watch Byron. I'm listening to this and Mr. Z, I get it. To Mark Lamont Hill, that was the whole point. They distance irritation. Look, when you're having a conversation with someone, when you're arguing with someone, when you're debating someone, for Z at least, first thing is to try to find out their debate style, their argument style. Do they engage in ad hominem attacks? Do they make sneak disses? Are they witty and quick? How does that wittiness come about? Etc. etc. And if they're about distance and irritation, shout out to Chris Rock. And with Myron, it is about irritation. It is about making those underhanded comments. It is about doing all the white boy tactics, right? The questioning your intelligence, the mocking you, the making fun of your history, your background, your people. That's what Myron engaged in, right? And it was all to unnerve Mark Lamont Hill. That's what those white women were engaging in, and it was all to unnerve Mark Lamont Hill, right? Myron knew what he was doing. Myron knows who he's attempting to appeal to. And shout out to all you weak ass white boys. That's why them white girls still began pogo stick in and out by them black men that you hate. Huh? I just want all the white guys under the sound of my voice to appreciate this. That is why. See, black men don't have this status that you have. Black men didn't go around the world and grape and pillage it, and that's why the white women are rocking with us. The women are rocking with us off of the strength of just being black men, and don't you hate to hear it? And much of the reason why white women are getting caught on Fox News being the side piece. Wasn't she married for heavy-set black men of all people? Middle-aged and older heavy-set black men, and yo, she was still getting brought to Pound Town. You want to know why? Huh? Because y'all are pathetic. You had the world at your fingertips. Your fathers controlled the entire planet, damn near. And your greed is why y'all have the Chinese sniffing at your nape right now. Goddamn Z. Your greed. You promote systems of greed and exploitation. And it's biting you in the ass so much that the Chinese just came from rice paddies like yesterday. Are sniffing at your neck right now. I smell you. Huh? No wonder white women are acting a fool right now. Because y'all pathetic. This first gen fashioned himself as a black man, then doesn't fashion himself as a black man simultaneously. This guy is who y'all backing? The step and fetch it? Huh? And then your weak ass in the comments said, as a white man, I just do it to like congratulate or appreciate Myron for being the voice of reason. He's the voice of reason because he's saying exactly how I feel about them Negroes. And Negroes is not the word running through your mind right now, is it? Huh? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Philly Vision says, and thank you for the super chat, he says, donation to a real one. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Mr. Z woke up. Get ready for, y'all know, don't put it in the comments. Don't put it in comments. Reckless streams. Yeah, and listening to this, and I was like, oh, see, originally, and I'm probably gonna still do it maybe a little bit later on tonight. Maybe even later on today. We'll see. We'll see how it works. I was going to do a stream responding to Dr. Lev, who Shay Sade interviewed yesterday. Shout out to Shay. Shout out to Shay for highlighting my comment. Shout out to her for asking one of the questions that I said. Shout out to Shay. Shout out to Shay Sade. Shay Sade. Talk about real ones. And Shay has always looked out for Z. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Okay. She interviewed a used to be feminist yesterday. Really good interview. And yeah, white lady who has some regrets about marriage and children. I think she was married once, but never had children. And just really good interview. And I thought I was going to do a review on that and kind of give my take on it, which, like I said before, I'm probably going to still do. But then I heard this. And this took precedent. And my apologies, Shay, but this definitely took precedent, right? Ross says he just cosplays for clout. All right. Myron just cosplays a black man for clout. Because if he was to present himself as an Arab, just a super darker Arab, America wouldn't care about nothing he talking about. You're probably right. Raw, you're probably right. Huh? And Ross says, I hate the term tether, but bruh, if look, it make it hard to debate and argue with the Tariq Nasheeds of the world when you have Myrons. It makes it real hard when you watch, bruh. Do you understand? I would have, especially if we online. That white guy would have been talking to me like that. Y'all see, I just freestyle what I said about white folks. Do you understand what I would have, the diatribe I would have released on that white dude if he was talking to me like how he talked? He sunned Myron. You haven't seen someone get sunned like this since the last time you seen somebody do a dunk contest and the goddamn balls was all in the other man's face. Like he sunned Myron, and Myron took it. And he was more ashamed that it was happening in public. You ever do something to your lady and she was like, stop, don't do that in public. Like that was Myron. Right? You ever you have the thing with you and your lady, right? You might have forgot where you were or whatever. Z hasn't done this. I'm just using it as an excuse. I'm freestyling right now. Shout out to Miss Z. But you do something in public or you say something in public. She's like, hey, you realize we're in public, right? She's like, stop, don't do that. Like that was Myron. He was less annoyed that the guy was doing it and more that the guy was doing it in public in front of everyone. Right? Like, if there is a face for Tether right now, at least in any man advocacy space, it got to be Myron. In any one of the male advocacy spaces, if there's a face for Tether, it's definitely Myron. And Myron knows it. And the white folks that back him, at least the smart ones, they know it. Right? Oh, man. Hey, I'm listening to this thing, and I'm listening to this white guy sun the hell out of Myron. And Myron is more ashamed that it's happening in front of everyone than he's actually ashamed that it's happening. He's less ashamed that it's happening and more ashamed that it's happening in front of everyone. But it don't really matter. Myron, because them stepping fetching cool ass Negroes that rock with you, they still gonna rock with you. And the white folks that back you, they're still gonna, as a matter of fact, they like it even more now because now they know, oh yeah, he really gonna do our bidding. Huh? We could mock him, we could insult him, and he gonna eat that. And you think it was a flex to say to black folks that white folks make all type of racist jokes towards black people in front of you, and the issue is that black people are too soft and too weak and too whatever terms you were using, too snowflake, right? I just want you to appreciate that Myron is with the crowd that uses terms like cry harder. If you've never seen that term in the comments, is when you have a back and forth with one of these 12-year-old edgelord white guys, white boys, and you say something, they're like, "You're crying, try harder," and it's the most like juvenile comment humanly possible. But Mr. Z is saying 12-year-old edgelord white boys. I just want y'all to understand, like, these are 20-something and 30-something-year-olds making these same type of comments. Y'all do realize that, right? No wonder their yitches all over the place, getting pogo sticked all over the place on the low by a whole bunch of non-white guys. No wonder, because y'all use terms like cry harder. Pathetic. Yeah. So Mr. Z just did. I definitely have to stream about that. Y'all notice it. Mr. Z didn't even. Mr. Z didn't even get into a place that was insulated, so y'all couldn't hear the echo in Mr. Z's background before I started streaming. I couldn't help it. I couldn't wait. Wow, Myron, that's where you at with it. No wonder. Abba and Preach was able to punk you. That's no. They made you look like an idiot because you are an idiot. But I knew it the second Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit started beefing. I was like, Fresh and Fit don't realize who they're dealing with. I could tell who Abba was from the jump. You had him on your guy. You had him in studio, and you didn't realize who Abba was from the beginning. I could tell who Abba was from the jump. Y'all don't realize the witty wisecrack dude when y'all meet him. Y'all don't instantly know. Okay, I gotta talk to this dude different. The second he says something, I gotta be ready. Y'all don't realize that. You're pathetic. Then you get in front of the white guys and start throwing Kevin Samuels under the bus. Oh, you're pathetic. Myron, you are a yitch, bro. You are the exact same women you advocate for men not to be like. You throwing the dead man that made it possible for any of us. We didn't care what you was talking about, Myron. Just like we don't really care what you're talking about now. Now you're trying to pivot a bit and do what, your best rendition of a Step and Fetch It Cool? To be honest, Myron, you're not talented enough. You gonna mess this one up too. Just like you're the one who messed up y'all YouTube career, you gonna mess this one up too. You're too broken. Just like how we say black women, they be having a good thing and they mess it up. Bro, you are the black woman you despise. Myron, you are the black women you despise. You might as well end up with a black woman and y'all can have y'all lesbian relationship. Ooh, goddamn, Z, what you saying? I said it. Huh? Myron, you might as well get into You might as well end up with a sister and you can have a lesbian relationship. Huh? Well, damn. You throwing Kevin Samuels under the bus. Not too much different than the black women that were dancing on his grave when he passed. So, like I said, same sex loving relationship. Huh? You doing Hail Hitler salutes? Like you and like the divestors, what's the difference? The divestors advocate for white men. Myron advocates for white men. The divestors dance on Kevin Samuels' grave. Myron throws Kevin Samuels under the bus as a dead man. Huh? The divestors, the second you give them a camera or a microphone, they start extolling the virtues of white society. Myron starts extolling the virtues of white society. The divestors never seen a dead black man. They didn't celebrate his death. Myron never sees a dead black man. He doesn't celebrate their death. The difference between Myron and the divestors are the difference between Myron and the divestor is huh? The divestors get around white men and they start performing for the white men, hoping to be shows. Myron get around white conservative men and start performing for them and hoping to be shows. Huh? The divestors probably got pictures being under the covers with the white guys. Myron got pictures under the covers with the white guys. Well, damn. Huh? The difference between the divestor and Myron is, huh? Exactly. And Mr. Shikchu says Kevin Samuels gave Fresh and Fit their best viral moment by checking that white woman. Exactly. Exactly. Right. And y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. My apologies, y'all. Reckless streams, reckless stacks in effect. Y'all already know. Okay, y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. Yeah, y'all. So definitely wanted to stream with to y'all with that. Like I said, we don't always talk about black women effery over here. When these characters, whatever Myron is, when these characters act up, we're gonna talk about it also, right? Just going through some of you guys' comments. Yeah, and I agree with Mr. Shook to you. That was the most viral moment. Huh? That was the most viral moment. And that's what shows the difference between Kevin and all the rest of the guys on in the white manosphere. All of them. All and by the way, like Mr. Z snoops in every once in a while. I listen to all those guys. I snoop in, I listen to all the guys over there in the white manosphere. Huh? And you could smell the anti-blackness dripping off their goddamn tongue. because they white bitch is probably kissing him with black peen on her breath. Goddamn Z. Anyway, you can hear the anti-blackness drip. You could see it. You could smell it. Huh? For just about all of them, you could see it and you could smell it. It's so pungent. You could smell it. Huh? So if Myron want to be over there and tap dance for those folks, then fine. My question is, why the hell are some of these young black men over there rocking with Myron after, excuse me, Hell Hitler salute? Y'all looking like them white chicks, huh? Wow, better you said they're upset I was playing their PlayStation, beating their games. Hysterical, right? Man, and it's true. And Saint Cyr says that African booty scratching childhood insult applied to everyone, not just children of immigrants. Some of us came up in a time in areas that weren't immigrant hubs until recent times. No, I think you're right. What I'm saying is, and I use that as a catch-all, the African booty scratcher as a catch-all for anything that indicated, their quote unquote otherness, and that they're holding on to these childhood um insults or these childhood aggressions or whatever, however you want to phrase it, and using that to excuse how they advocate and how they speak and how angry and resentful they are as adults, huh? And if you feel like a other and you still holding on to these things, then you are a other, huh? If you feel like an other and you're saying, well, the white people didn't talk about me like that, well, yeah, they probably were ignoring your ass, huh? Imagine saying your issue with black people is that when you were 8, 12 years old, some kids were calling you African booty scratcher, and then we meet you as an adult, and all we ever see you do is run up behind, huh? Actually, they're probably the ones running up behind you in that case, running behind the white folks. You don't appreciate. It's the same thing we say about, well, once again, the divestor, Myron, which is you treat those folks different. You defer to them. You kiss their ass. So of course you don't have the same relationship with them that you have with black folks. You insult black people, you belittle black people, you make fun of black people, you question black people's intelligence, you question black people's humanity, to be frank. You question black people's existence. You demand that the rest of the black community bow down the way you did. And then you wonder why you get treated different by the white folks that you worship at the altar of. Huh? So, you know, Myron spoke like this. I ain't gonna belabor the point too much. We already at over an hour. That wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, I'll review. I'll do a different stream. It might happen. It might happen in no time. It might be later on today or tonight. I'll do a different stream for Shay Sade's interview. Shout out to Shay once again. Um, I definitely want to say this. Look, that's why I called it a ramble. We'll do rambles. Shout out to, was it Saint? It wasn't Saint. Who was it that said something about Z and a good rant, right? Was it Revlon? Somebody said something about a rant a stream or two ago. But yeah, I had to get on this one. Um I think what Myron did was egregious because he's excusing, um, and I'm gonna link it in the description box afterward. I'm just not gonna link it from his channel. Um, but I think what made this so egregious, and I think why I'm really reviewing this, is because we're not talking about adults now. We're talking about Myron excusing a grown adult white woman calling a 5-year old black boy the N word. Number one. Number two, Myron bringing up George Floyd and Freddie Gray in this conversation to excuse a black boy being called the N word. Number three, Myron throwing black men under the bus with this. They're this percent of the population that commit this amount of the percent of the crime, and it's black men. Myron said that. All of you supposed male advocacy guys, that includes you cool ass white dudes, I said what I said. Y'all gonna let Myron get away with that? Of course you are. This is why the indigenous folks told us, hey, don't sign any contracts these people put out. This is why it's never been, oh, it's just, it's male advocacy and it's MGTOW and then that's why we're told never trust y'all. Huh? So, okay, y'all. Charles said 3 hours later. Huh? Charles said 3 hours later, is he gonna still be here?
A few moments later.
And we're back. Messrs. You don't know what the hell is going on. I tried to highlight Philly Vision's super chat one more again before we end out, and it was not letting me. And I kind of knew then, right? So once again, Philly Vision, better yet, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, and Saint Cyr says they wasn't around like that in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, the immigrants were definitely here. Obviously, Mr. Z. But yeah, immigrants are definitely here in South Florida in the 80s and 90s, right? But yeah, black immigrants, right? Good point. And Compassionate says, newsflash, black Americans are the ultimate other, not immigrant. Always has been, which is why we've poked fun at the concept. Yeah, yeah. And some of these people, the way they break is borderline like Joker level, right? Like you when you realize what America is, you have choices to make. When you wake up to the racial pyramid scheme of America as a black person, you have decisions to make. You have choices to make on how you're going to live the rest of your life. When you wake up to this cruel sideways maze, right? Slash pyramid scheme that is race in America, particularly anti-blackness. And what Myron decided to do was be a coward. What Myron decided to do was to defecate on the least of us in this society, black people, and do the bidding of the establishment. Myron could never say he's anti-establishment. What's more establishment in America than being anti-black? Myron could never claim any establishment. I mean, excuse me, any anti-establishment. Like he clearly can't because he was working for the feds. So I mean, like for real. And I said was, we don't know if he still isn't. Uh-oh. There's that part. Huh? So he literally can't say he's anti. I mean, I guess this goes along with what Myron really is. I mean, he worked for the feds, and yet the people that rock with him know that, and they still rock with him. Okay, fine. He's a black man who's anti-black, who at least worked, probably still does, worked for the feds, and yet y'all still ride with him. I thought y'all was supposed to be anti-establishment. I thought y'all wanted something different, huh? Better you said Big Shirley stomping on your internet. Apparently, right? Apparently, I'm proving Trell right. By the way, you guys, when he said 3 hours later, I'm proving Trell right now. Better you said 2 Cent was right. That's all I'm saying, huh? So yeah, y'all. Look, there's a lot of stuff I want to review. Not all of it is going to be black, female effery. I gotta do my leftist critique. Like I said, I want to have Better You up. I want to have Leon up. Um, AB up. Because I gotta start working on this quote unquote. I'm saying quote unquote second channel because obviously Mr. Z said something about this second channel over a month ago. Still ain't do nothing with it yet, right? So yeah. Um, for those of you that don't know, Mr. Z want to start a second channel, political channel, where we pretty much ramble and rant about current events, history, from a black manosphere left perspective. Um, and that when we say left, it's ranging the gamut of left. So quote unquote liberal left, all the way to like borderline anarchy left. Yeah, and it's called the left lane. So I gotta, start the channel, probably trademark it because that's a dope ass title. Anybody use that, y'all know they got it from Z and they're stealing, right? So it's gonna be called the left lane, and it's gonna have the merge left um street sign. I gotta make sure that I can't be like sued for that, but we're working on it. We're working on it, everyone. And yeah, and so I put that idea out there I think over a month ago now, and yeah, so now it's about actually starting it. So we're gonna be talking about a bunch of stuff. Um, I think I'm gonna start off like the seeds of that channel here, which I'm doing now, and I'll slowly like move over stuff over there, and we'll build our audience and yeah, right. I mean, Starman, Starman, hey man, hey, I'm just saying, we know it's happened, right? I would like to direct everyone to the documentary Mississippi Spies. Right, we know it. We've known it's happened. We've heard of the feds sending letters to this civil rights group into that civil rights group and have them thinking, oh, it's these people sending it to us and those people sending it to us. To come to find out, wait a minute, you ain't say that. No, I ain't say that. Who told you I said that? Wait a minute, you ain't say. But you said no, 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 no. Oh, I get what's happening. Yeah, yeah, right. And Starman says feds probably bought all them goofies in and gave them a choice they couldn't refuse. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Huh? Because what Myron is engaging in right now, But that tap dancing Myron was doing, we're talking about a 5-year-old black boy with autism being called the N-word, and Myron over here tap dancing on Pierce Morgan. Huh? Sainter says, Z, you got another 30 minutes in you. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Paul Wilson says, Contel Pro 2025. Mr. Wilson, I don't know if it ever ended. Like, where do we have confirmation that it ever ended, or there wasn't a revamp of it right when they ended this part and they started another thing? I mean, if you really think about the black community in America in particular, and our trends and the things we like, and how quick others are to jump on our trends, and when you think about espionage, when you think about intel in general, right? Just gathering intel on a person or on a group of people. I never think that the US doesn't do that to all groups in the US, but in our case, in particular, in the black community, it doesn't make sense to me to have right now standing around some 340 million odd people and not know the ins and outs of every single group and demographic, right? Just for continuity of government's sake. Just to know where are because, right, it says protect, this country from threats, foreign and domestic, right? Well, if that is part of your founding documents, then the domestic part would entail that you know all the ins and outs of every group in America, that you have files on every group in America, maybe not every individual to a man in America, but definitely every group in America. And like the only group that continues to buck the status quo and injustices consistently, whether it has to do with them or not, are black people in America, right? Thanks, Rob. As a matter of fact, let me click it now so that I can have it even when I end the stream. Give me a second. Give me a second. Into, yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, y'all, we're back. Yeah, okay. I got it wrong. Thank you. Thank you. I figured it was gonna have something to do with that, like that. But thank you. Right. So that's saved. I'll read it. I'll read it after the stream. Thank you. Right. Yeah. And Rod says, been saying agents here since 2016 when mofos start their content and be way and then they flip, excuse me, they flip for checks. I think you're right. I think you're right. As a matter of fact, Rob, because I know you lean more to the right, that whole scandal with what's her name, Chin, with the whole getting money from whatever shadowy Russian, whatever the hell, and distributing that money for them to push a particular type of politics in America. Was it Loderick Crowder or was it the other one? One of them, he didn't know where the money was coming from, but he thought it was like just a shadowy billionaire in America. Right? And like I bring that up to say like exactly what Ra said, which is even if these people even if they don't have a quote unquote handler in the government, like what you see in movies and whatnot, they kind of do have an understanding that they're being supported and funded by some bigwigs so that they can say what they say. It was Tim Pool, and thank you, low volume L. Yeah, Tim Pool. right? And remember, these people are supposed to be like freedom of speech advocates. They're supposed to be anti-establishment advocates. They're supposed to be about, I want to be able to say what I want to say, how I want to say it, right? And I don't like too much big government, and I don't. How much money do you think espionage costs? How much money do you think it costs to know the ins and out of every little upstart on the internet and on social media, and every little movement that's popping up here and there? But you're supposed to be for small government. Yeah, you full of crap. Hey, when it comes to protected whiteness or advocating for whiteness, they don't mean none of that stuff they talking about. Hey, white men are so full of crap. When it comes to advocating for whiteness, white men, I don't care whether they're liberal or conservative, I don't care. They don't mean any of that. All those quote unquote libertarians, whatever, y'all don't mean none of that. Oh, small government. I want government to be small enough where you can seek it in the bathtub and all that crap. Shut the hell up. Y'all don't be. Hey, so and that's why I don't want to hear nothing no poor or working class white person gotta say. I don't care what y'all talking about. Y'all are full of crap. Because the second rich white zaddy come around, y'all be licking his heels too. I'm for country living, and I like my house, my ranch house on a 2-3 acre lot. Shut the hell up, y'all are full of crap. The second they rich ass cousins from the city come around waving around cash, they go with it. I met those people, right? And Starman says a lot of posting on Twitter and political podcasts stopped when that USAID money was cut off. Yeah, look, Trump will find another way, or the next administration, whether conservative or liberal, Democrat or Republican, will find another way to chip off both domestic and foreign entities when they want people who are going to play a role in undermining governments or different groups that they see as insurgents. Trump will find another government organization. He'll start up some alphabet boys, right? Or they'll just move it to a different department if they haven't already, right? That's one thing America's not going to let happen. America's just not going to have eyes and ears everywhere, and they're not going to just let different organizations or quote unquote insurgents pop up, either foreign or domestic, to undermine their power. Not knowingly anyway. They're not going to knowingly say we're just going to remove ourselves from the different theaters because, right, and leave that wide open. No, they're not going to do that, right? So yeah, USID. I say USID, but USAID. Yeah, they defunded them and pretty much knocked them out. But yeah, right. Yeah, I remember that. And Ross says Cynthia G said she's FBI friends. Yeah, I remember that. Huh. So with that, I don't know why I didn't remember until like like towards the last maybe 20 minutes. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, Myron is feds. And like, no. BGS said it earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, BGS, I forgot. I forgot. Right? This whole time Mr. Z just ranting, and that's why it's good to control your emotions, Z. And if I would have done what I usually do, and most of the streams I do, I am freestyling, y'all, but I do have points in my mind where I'm like, don't forget to mention this, don't forget to mention that, don't forget to mention this. But I just started the stream out of nowhere, and so it slipped my mind that Myron, agent and whatnot. It wasn't until I read the comment from BGS, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Right? I forgot. Starman says worldwide wiretap. No, for real though. Like, no, I mean like for real. Exactly. right? That's a real thing, by the way. That's a real thing. I don't even know if you want to call it wiretap, right? They just grabbing your stuff off of the satellite. They just grabbing it out the air. It's not a quote unquote wiretap anymore. I mean, like, we still call it that, but like, yeah. Right. So on that note, y'all, look, I can't let I can't let Saints here, Trell, and Better You be right. Look, Mr. Z got to be right one time, right? So L's active said wireless tap. No, for real. All right. So on that note, y'all, we'll pause right here. Truly, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I might come to y'all either later on today or maybe tomorrow with our Shay Sade coverage. I might bring up a bunch of different stuff, but mainly covering Shay Sade and her interview. Did a great interview. Number one, number two, bruh, this Myron thing, I hey, I felt Mark Lamont's pain even for those of us that don't rock with Mark Lamont Hilt like that. Hey, when y'all watch this, y'all gonna be like, "What the?" I would have been ranting and raving too, Mark. So, all right, y'all. So we'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. This is why I can get along somewhat with the conservative brothers because, like, especially if y'all not tap dancing. Look, we just have a disagreement on the direction that we should go in advocating for Black men in particular, but Black people as a whole, and what direction maybe this country should go in. But it's for the betterment of us. It's not no resentment that you got called African booty scratcher when you were 12. And you said, F it, I'm going to go with the white people. And I'm going to read Ron's comment and we'll end out, y'all. And Ron says, historically, Black men gave white suffragettes legitimacy with men like Frederick Douglass. If they lost Black men, they lose the whole game, and they know it collectively. Black masculinity terrifies them. I think you're right. Not even I think you're right. They've said it. That's what J. Edgar Hoover Prevent the Rise of a Black Messiah thing was all about. I mean, he only put in words what this country has been saying forever since before Denmark Vesey, right? Like this is all since before Nat Turner. They've said that in different ways since essentially since 1619. In different ways, America or a politician or a notable magnate, wealthy person, wealthy white man or woman has said some variation of that pretty much since 1619. So yeah, yeah, no, Roz is right about that. Roz is right about that. Right. So yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. And Mr. Shook to you says save Shay interview for panel. I'm sure Shay is gonna break the live stream up into segments. You're probably right about that. Then that would probably be a Saturday stream then, a Saturday or Sunday stream. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Shook to you. Okay, with that, okay, so that'll give me a chance to get my thoughts together about that more succinctly. But y'all know Mr. Z gonna ramble anyway. On that note, we truly gonna pause right there, y'all. Mr. Z was not trying to go for no damn hour and a half practically. So we'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Y'all check out Shay Sade's interview with Miss. I don't know why I always want to be saying Lev or Dev. I'll be mixing up her name. Dr. Dev. Lev? Lev. Dr. Lev or Dev. I don't watch how many of this lady interviews and I still be getting her name wrong. Anyway, on that note, we'll end it right there, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day before Mr. Z don't finish. Mr. Z got things to do. Y'all already know it's a regular stream. So Mr. Z out, y'all.